Where does the name for Deganwy come from? As Taliesin, Wales's greatest bard, said, Doddwyf Deganwy amryson, ar Maelgwn Gwynedd o'r achwyson. So today I'm in Deganwy. It's a settlement by the River Conwy, opposite Conwy in Conwy County. The name's made of two parts, Degan and Y. Now, the earliest records come from the 800s, and they were written in Latin, and they call the area Decantai. But by Middle Welsh, it'd become Deganw, and then eventually Dugant. Now, that is the name of a tribe who lived in this area during the collapse of the Roman administration. The end bit, Y, is actually a territorial suffix, so literally the town name means the area of the Dugant. Now, it's impossible to talk about Deganwy without talking about Maelgwn Gwynedd. Maelgwn Gwynedd is an incredibly influential character in Welsh history. He was a king from roughly the year 500. His grandfather used to live in a kingdom in England between the River Tees and the Firth of Forth, but they fled here when the Saxons arrived, setting up the Kingdom of Gwynedd. And his main fortress was here in Deganwy. Now, Maelgwn Gwynedd's main castle, his main fortress, was built on this rather distinctive pair of hills at the back of Deganwy. The English name for it is the Vardre. That comes from a Welsh word, of course, Y Faerdre. Y being the, and Faerdre is the soft mutation of Maelgwn, and it means the Lord's domain. It's a bit like a hamlet which is personally owned by the lord of an area. Now, the fortress that Maelgwn built was built on top of, and built on top of again by a Norman lord, and then rebuilt as a castle by the Welsh kings of Gwynedd a lot later on. But eventually it was destroyed by the English because they were building the castle over in Conwy just across the river, and they didn't want anything to potentially challenge that. Now, the story of Maelgwn Gwynedd's death is quite an interesting one. The story goes that a strange creature dragged itself out of the swamps near Deganwy called Vardre, which is roughly where the golf course is now, and it started killing people. And it was called a Vardre. Now, I don't think that this creature was actually a monster or a creature of some kind, but it most likely reflected a disease. And that disease was the plague of Justinian, a form of bubonic plague which was common in the Roman Empire and ex-Roman Empire at the time. But it was anthropomorphised into a strange beast in Welsh mythology. Now, the story goes that, scared of the beast, Maelgwn escaped to Llanrhos and locked himself in the church that was built here, where the current church in Llanrhos was. He locked himself away for several days, but eventually had to look out of the keyhole, and in doing so caught a glimpse of a Vardre, which killed him. So literally, the town name means the land of the Dugant tribe. Anyway, diolch, thank you, subscribe for more, give us a like, share it with your friends who live in the area or are interested in place names. And if you want to support me on my quest to explain every place name in Wales, you can on my Patreon. The link is in my bio. Diolch, have a good one.